something was wrong. A man was looking out into his backyard and he saw a mother with two little baby fawns, except one of them was limping along, and every once in a while her front leg would just collapse underneath the weight of it. And her brother, who was getting confident with every step, was kind of joyfully keeping up with his mom. But this little fawn, she was struggling. And with each step, she became more and more exhausted until she finally just lay down in the grass. Now, the mother fawn and the other fawn kind of looked back for a second, but they continued on their way. And the reason why she didn't stop is because if all three of them were to stay there for the night, then predators would get them. So the mother had to leave the baby behind. Well, this man watched and watched to make sure she wasn't going to come back, and when he was sure she wasn't and it was getting dark, he went and picked up the little baby fawn in his arms and he brought it home to his house to take care of it. And he gave the fawn his favorite shirt. And even though they had cats and dogs and other animals, the baby fawn was so happy to be there, to be loved and be cared for and protected, that she was just excited. So the next day, the man got up and he made a splint for her little leg. And each day, she got a little stronger. And he had, one of the dogs he had was a Burmese mountain dog, and that dog just loved that fawn. I mean, he was licking him and protecting her and just trying everything he could to be her best friend. Well, as I said, she got stronger and stronger to the point where the man thought, you know what? It's time for her to try to get back to being a deer and being with her mom. So he took her back to a field where all the deer were, and he laid her down in the middle, and he kind of carefully walked away. Do you know what she did? She jumped up and she followed him. She was following her daddy. She didn't understand. So anyway, he gave her to a friend of his so that the deer wouldn't know him. And he did that over and over in this field until one day the mother deer did come back. And she just kind of stood stock still when she saw the baby. Probably she couldn't believe her eyes. And she went over to the baby, and both of them recognized each other right away. And the baby went off with her brother and the mother into the woods. Now, that deer does come back from time to time on that man's property. But you know what? She does not know who he is. She doesn't remember all the hours that he put in to take care of her. All those nights that he was up feeding her every 4 hours. All the days that he took just to make sure that she was safe. She didn't remember any of it. But the man didn't care. He said he was very, very happy to see that she was living a fulfilled life. Isn't God amazing? Isn't he amazing how he works things out? You know, if the man hadn't been there, that deer was not going to make it through the night. He didn't care that the deer didn't look like him or act like him or live like him. And you know that dog Mac, he didn't care that the deer didn't look like him or act like him or live like him. What mattered was that the deer needed them. Now, God also reaches out to us. And in the Bible, it tells us in John 3:16 that God loved the world so much that he gave his son to us. That's the most unselfish thing that you can do. And God expects that we follow his example, that we try to be like him. And you know what? Through God's love and grace and wisdom, we can reach out to others too. And we can do things that we never thought that we could before. You see, there's a lot of hurting people in the world who are hungry for love and need God and need Jesus in their life. And their hope is only in Jesus. And God may send you somebody too, somebody very different, somebody who doesn't look like you or act like you or live like you. But maybe, just maybe, that won't matter. You see, if we help someone every day, just even a little bit of help, that's 365 people we can help per year. That's a lot. We can make 365 people's lives just a little bit better. And you know what? Just like that man who was watching that deer from a distance, even though they might not remember what we do, or sometimes we may not even remember who they were when God sends them to us, we can get that feeling of joy and peace that comes with doing as God asks. So let's you and I look out for that person this week. Let's look out for that person each day that God's sending us so that we can be like that man and take out the time that is required to help somebody else. Amen. Will you pray with me now? Oh, Father, there are so many people in the world that need help. So many people, God, that need your love in their life. Thank you that you allow us sometimes to be that person to help them. Help us like that man to be alert and be willing to do what it takes, to do as you ask. So we too can bring your light into somebody else's life.